Wow. Check out that baby mammoth right there. That baby mammoth facing right. Now that little hole was a bubble in the glass that came to the surface. And that's the eye of this baby mammoth now, facing right. That green is an inclusion in the glass. And this baby mammoth was formed by flaking part of the green inclusion away right there. There's a big flake they took out of that to image that mammoth. And then this flake down here is a big flake they took out. You can see the patina, the brown patina there too. That's a big flake they took out with a big hinge fracture right there. And they took out that flake right there to get rid of the green inclusion to make that baby mammoth with its little trunk facing off to the right. Just unbelievable workmanship. My goodness. This is a Lady Nelly Thompson, Mount Shasta, what I call Andara Volcanic Glass Paleo Story Stone facing mammoth effigy. Now again, that eye of that baby mammoth was a bubble, but it came to the surface as a natural hole. And this piece of this side here, this large piece, was the cortex, or the exterior part of the glass crystal. All the rest of this has been worked. All those little chips, all those chippings, all that, we call that flaking in archaeology. It's been flaked. All of it, all around, except for this one strip. It's all been flaked with percussion and pressure flaking to make the profile, the perimeter of the piece, and to incorporate the imagery of faces and mammoths. But they did it all around the edges, very fine pressure flaking, to make the edges a profile of a mammoth. Now we see the baby mammoth with his little trunk here facing off to the right, and that's the eye of the big baby mammoth with a baby mammoth inside the mammoth. Outstanding workmanship. This is a Clovis biface is what it is. And this is a huge, large percussion flake. We call this unifacial. It's pretty much unifacial. There's a couple of flakes right here that they had to flake away to make this effigy. And they also flake this eye of a face looking off from the back of the mammoth. So that's an eye, a nose, and a mouth down below, looking up from the back of the mammoth there. They intentionally made that eye. They gashed it out of there. And now we have that mammoth now facing off to the left. And then the mature mammoth with the big sweepy trunk, we have that now facing off to the right. And this is the eye. Now we're going to get back to this eye pretty soon because it's really cool. This is on the one side that's mainly unifacial. So they flaked it down where they needed to do some more imagery on this side. But on this side, that is just outstanding Clovis creativity and Clovis workmanship. The Clovis culture lived all across America, in all 48 states, 12 to 14,000 years ago. And they were every bit as smart as we are, very sophisticated people. They just hadn't come into the Bronze Age yet. So they were technically still Stone Age. Look at that baby mammoth looking at us right there. That's unreal. They did that on purpose. They flaked that flake out there and flake this flake out here to get rid of that green to make that mammoth image. Just outrageous creativity. Now, a very important point, there's a lot of false XRF, X-ray fluorescence testing going on out there, and it's giving false information. When you perform X-ray fluorescence testing on this glass, you need to make sure that it's a flaked and etched Paleolithic artifact. If it isn't flaked, like all this flaking here, that's all flaking scars. Those were all chips, percussion and pressure flaking, all through here, all over the place, the whole surface except for this one flat surface. If it's not flaked, and it's just a chunk of blue, yellow, red, green glass? Well, a lot of people call man-made glass Andara glass. So if it's not flaked and you do X-ray fluorescence testing on it and it's not a Paleolithic artifact, it's likely to be man-made, even though it's called Andara glass. So you're going to get a reading that shows that the glass has a lot of silicon dioxide. Well, this glass has no oxygen in it at all. It's loaded with silicone, don't get me wrong, but there's no oxygen in it, period. And there's no sodium in it, which man-made glass would have as well. But in man-made glass, if it was called Andara glass, it would have oxygen and sodium. So when you do your testing, you have to make sure you're testing the correct samples. Otherwise, you're going to get false information. Because again, a lot of people call any type of colored glass, including man-made colored glass, as Andara glass. And that's okay. But you have to take that into consideration when you're doing your X-ray fluorescence testing. And you have to have it done by a reputable lab, like I had it done and like Dr. Michael Gramley had it done. Dr. Michael Gramley had his X-ray fluorescence testing done with samples, with some effigies that I had provided him. So he had these effigies, these type of effigies, Paleo Story Stone face and mammoth effigies, to be able to test. That's why his test results came out exactly, like mine, with no oxygen in the glass and no sodium in the glass. But again, if you have a piece of colored glass and it's labeled Andara and it doesn't have any of this flaking, you're going to get the wrong X-ray fluorescence reading on that, and you're going to think all this material is just a bogus slag glass. Well, it isn't. Not if you have an artifact that you're testing. This is a Clovis artifact done 12 to 14,000 years ago. There's the baby mammoth with its little trunk off to the right, massive hair tuft that's all been flaked up here on top of the head. And this is the eye, exaggerated eye of that baby mammoth facing right. How cool is that? And then when you hold it this way, of course, we have the mature mammoth now with its big sweeping trunk, very powerful looking with its eye, the baby mammoth, in this green inclusion here that's in the glass, that green inclusion that's been flaked away to make that baby mammoth. Now we have the mature mammoth facing off to the left. When we hold it this way, this is the eye of the face. This is the big sweepy nose of the older face facing off to the right. And the younger face here with this, the nose and mouth of the younger face facing off to the left. But this is very cool over here too. You're going to see a lot of etching right up here on top. That's the etching of the hair atop the faces here. And what we have is this inclusion is an eye of an older face with a big nose looking off to the left. This inclusion is an eye of a younger face with a nose looking off to the left and mouth carved out below. But the cool part is the face looking off to the right with this, the nose and mouth. Look at the eye. It has eyelashes. I counted 7 of them. So they flaked this masterfully as a huge percussion flake to image that eye with those eyelashes, with the young face looking off to the right. Unbelievable. Unbelievable workmanship there, folks. This is Clovis creativity and workmanship at its very finest. And this is a Clovis biface. It was made to stand up. And I've done another video of this earlier on. And I said in that video, of course, I was just learning about these at that time, that all these Clovis bifaces are made to stand up from Mount Shasta. They're not. Many of them were made to stand upright, but not all of them. This one here is from Mount Shasta. This is the eye, the bubble of the bubble in the natural volcanic glass that was flaked to the surface to make it a hole. Now you can see the dirt still in the hole there. And these were dug up on Lady Nelly Thompson's Mount Shasta property in the late 60s and 70s. And then you have the big sweepy trunk here and the hair tuft above the head. And the cool thing is you got an eye and nose and a mouth of another bubble there with the eye of the face looking off from the back of the mammoth. and the sloping back of the mammoth. That was not made to stand upright, but it is a Clovis biface artifact. And there's others that are pictured on my YouTube channel, but one periwinkle blue and one green that were not meant to stand upright. But many of them were. And then we have the baby mammoth now facing off to the right with the eye of the mammoth, that baby mammoth. Just unreal workmanship on this and creativity. Those chips out of there to make that mammoth. Unbelievable. Wow, these were very sophisticated. Look at that baby mammoth looking at us right there. Unbelievable. They did that so intentionally with all those chips taken out of there. You can even see the patina still left in the devices. Well, just another outstanding Clovis biface cash blade on Volcanic Glass, Paleo Story Stone, face and mammoth effigy.